Hello to whomever is watching this. I'm very grateful for your time and for your being here. My name is Paul Polzer, and I used to teach English in Japan for 8 years. I decided to change my career, and now I'm a software developer with 6 years of experience in the Agile method. I'm very interested in the stock market and investing, and I was curious what level of control I could gain over Excel data using JavaScript and React. So this is a labor of love that I designed for my own personal use, and I'm excited to show it to you today. My main goal was to learn how to style and organize an Excel sheet, and the showstopper of this application, I feel, is the fractal indicator. When I was working on this, I wasn't even sure if creating a fractal indicator in JavaScript was even possible. The completion of this app was a huge milestone for me in my software development journey. It increased my confidence a lot. I did all the planning, researching, designing, building, testing, and implementing and maintaining this app. And I learned that I could bring my imagination into a very real and tangible reality and show it to other people. So hopefully you get to see things that you didn't even know were possible. So this app is designed to be mobile responsive, and in the upper left-hand corner you will see my Bitcoin widget. That is a widget that pulls from an API and is displaying the current price at the time of creating this video, as well as the rise and fall in the past 24 hours. So in the past 24 hours, it has gained $11. If that were negative, it would conditionally render to be red. So there's some conditional rendering there. This app is designed to be used with Excel data sheets that were downloaded from investing.com. So and that would be how you would use it, but I got tired of that. So I just made my own API where I can just download any stock that I choose just by punching in the ticker symbol and the start and end date, and there you go. I was curious of what kind of functionality I could get. Using Excel can be time consuming and difficult for people. So, things like just flipping a column. If I asked you how to flip a column, would you be confident that you could go in there and get it done in 10 seconds? Or would you have to Google it and ask your friend and this and that? So those are the sorts of things I wanted to be able to do. Here you can see I've downloaded just the basic sheet from my API. And now I'm trying to organize it in a way that I can see the data better, right? So if I try and organize this sheet horizontally, you can see it's a very tedious process that isn't very fun and could take you quite a length of time. If you spread out this manual organization across different markets and multiple Excel sheets, you might be there a while working on this. So this app is designed to shorten that process and just save myself a healthy amount of time. So here I'm showing you just how to flip a column. I've flipped the dates from descending into ascending, and then I think I've flipped it back. So, just a basic, super basic functionality of you can use my app to flip the ascending and descending order of the dates on an Excel sheet. So now it's ascending, starting from 2020 and rising up to 2023. That's very useful for me. And now we're going to show you really the main goal of this app, which was to get styling and organization and make it look really pretty. I'm going to set the column size to whatever I want. Let's do 22 stock days, which is roughly a month of time. And presto changeo, you just push the button and load it up. And instead of cutting and pasting for hours and highlighting background colors and this and that would take you, I don't even know how long. Now you just get it instantly. And it looks so pretty. And if I asked you, where is the most consistent price in the past year, it would just be a lot easier to see rather than digging through one giant column of very bland, colorless data. So yeah, that's kind of the main purpose of the app. But in working on this, I figured out that there's a lot of things that are available using React and a third-party library. You can add high-lows, you can add columns. In this case, I'm going to show you what it looks like to just add high-low columns using JavaScript and React. And here you go. If I wanted to print the sheet up with high and low, so I could just mark them myself or put notes, oh, every summer the price is up, so maybe I should make a bet on this market before the price goes up. This is just very useful for me to keep track of things and try and figure out how I should be betting on the market. So that's the same sheet with high and low columns. I also figured out that if you want to, you can hide columns and you can add numbers as well. So in that sheet, I had all the numbers were gone and I just had empty highs and lows. But here, I'm going to show you functionality that can just fill it with all the high and low data. So there you go. I think I used JavaScript to cut those numbers to 2 decimal places, so that was useful. Next, I think I'm going to show you the hidden columns feature that I figured out and thought was pretty neat. So again, you just toggle the tool and select hidden, push the button, and all of a sudden it's all done. When you really think about how long it would take to manually hide all of the columns, it's just a real massive time saver. So now it looks like there is no high and low, but really it's there. And if you drag it out, if you have very deft fingers, which I think I may not be as dexterous as you are, but eventually I find that low in there and I dig it out. And then I go for the high and dig that out as well. So those were hidden before and they're hidden all across the board, but if you want to, you can expand them. So that's just a neat styling feature that you can use. Here, I think I'm going to show you my fractal indicator, which is something that I'm the most excited about. It's going to search through all the high and low numbers and measure where all the high and low fractal shapes are. And then it's going to mark them on my Excel sheet using my application to style. The highs are going to be green and the reds are going to be lows. So when you print it out, you can see all the math is there. There is no repeating pattern. This is actual math. And if you look at each number, you can see it is indeed the highs are higher than the surrounding numbers and the lows are lower than the surrounding numbers. So these are legit fractal patterns that are being printed onto the page. If you wanted to mark these manually, how long would that take you? I think you might be there quite a good while. So, this just is a really, really cool and exciting tool for me that I got super excited about, and I'm super excited to show you that this is possible in JavaScript. I didn't know if this was even possible, so I was very excited to get this working. There were a lot of unique challenges on the way that I overcame in creating this. And so this function that I made that measures fractals is not just useful for creating Excel sheets, but it's also useful in visual graphs. So we're going to show you the graph tool, I think, here in a bit. Oh, I realize what I'm showing you. I'm showing you how it can be switched on multiple markets and multiple sheets. So I'm showing you right now how, I'm printing up like an entire market of data. I'm switching from Apple to IBM to NVIDIA, so you can see that all the results are different and unique. And if you were creating these sheets manually and organizing them on your own, I think you would find it time consuming and tedious, especially across multiple markets of decades of time. If it were me, it would take me a long time to organize these sheets and mark all these points, but here I'm doing it in less than a minute or so. So here you have one of the Excel sheets that I've inputted, and I've used a third-party library to create a graph. And I'm showing off the tooltips that show that if I highlight on the market, it can show you the exact date of where my mouse cursor is. It also has a zoom feature where I can zoom in and out, which is very useful for what I'm going to show you next. I'm going to show you my working fractal indicator visually on the graph. So here's your highs. So this is all the high fractals. And I can zoom in and look at them. Some of them are not perfect hits, and same thing would occur if you fired up the graph indicator on tradingview.com or any popular website. It's not a perfect science, but it's pretty good. And, this is just a helpful guide tool. It took me a while to get them pixel perfect, and here's your lows. So you can just toggle them on and off using my app. It's just a ternary that just flips them. It's just a switch that just flips them on and off, and you can click them at your leisure. Next, I'm going to show you the overlay tool that I worked very hard on. It's designed to load off of Excel data. So you can have an Excel sheet that just has nothing but dates in it. So here you will see me loading an entire folder worth of files, which I didn't even know was possible before developing this app. I'm taking an entire folder of Excel files and I'm just loading them all at once and toggling through them, and then I can click on load overlay and just have all the dates that were inputted in these Excel files instantly pop up on my graph chart. So I think I'm going to show you what this Excel sheet has inside of it for data. So you'll see that I've just deleted a lot of the dates and just left them up. They don't need to have any white space in between them. It was just faster for me to do that. They could be all lined up in a column, but here you click load overlay, and then all of a sudden all those dates that are in those Excel sheets will just pop up pixel perfect with an arrow pointing to them. And this can be useful for loading, whatever data you want. If you think that the price often rises at the start of every month, you can mark those dates and then just load them in and see if you're right. Setting up these overlays using MS Paint or a stock app where you have to manually draw the points would take me a length of time. And, I just have it at the touch of my fingertips. It's very exciting for me. And then you can compare it with your highs and lows and see if there's any connections there. You can move them up and down a day if you choose, and these are now moving up and down based on stock days, not calendar days. That took me some work and some time to get working. there are a few unique challenges in getting that to work too. But yeah, I can just move them up and down as I please if I feel like doing that. That was another unique tool. So thank you very much for checking out my software, and I hope you enjoyed it and had a fun time seeing what I was capable of creating in JavaScript. Thank you very much.